Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How to Roll Dice for Themeless Thursday. I'm Josh.
I'm Brian.
And this week we're going to be discussing several things, some more nonsensical than others, and some that we think you might actually give a damn about. But it's our show, and we're going to do what I want. First thing we want to talk about is the podcast itself, or videocast, or whatever the hell you call this thing, local broadcast, two idiots in a chair. Yeah,
we try.
Tries a truck. Two guys in a truck. So we've obviously, you may have noticed, we've repositioned our camera, we've set things up a little differently. We're working on just improving video quality and audio quality so that this is a little better for you guys.
From some of the testing that we've done, this angle looks just a lot nicer.
A little more light.
Yeah.
You can see that our stuff in the background is also constantly shifting. So one day there might even be something relevant back there.
Or built.
Or built, yeah. Just unlimited boxes of huge base models that are never going to get assembled. Thanks, Miniature Market Sale. So the podcast is going to shift around a bit. We've had some comments on different things, one of which was somebody on Reddit didn't like our music. But that's understandable. Like I said, we're trying to flesh things out. So if you guys have any recommendations on music, other than there shouldn't be any, because I feel like just the two of us talking straight for 20 minutes would drive anyone insane. But we're still working on levels and all that stuff. So we'll get it right.
We'll get there.
I promise. So moving on to the main thing that we wanted to talk about this episode, we wanted to start to try highlight games. And so this is Mice and Mystics by Plaid Hat Games. If you guys don't know Plaid Hat, they make quite a few delightful games. This was actually one of the first that we picked up, and it was sort of our introduction to their company and the style of games that they make, and we've enjoyed it quite a bit.
It's very fun. The art in it is amazing.
The art style is very unique because, and hopefully I'll have some footage here to roll for you guys, but the art style is very unique in that it's a grid-based, railroaded RPG system.
Yeah,
basically it's got 11 stories to the first book of the game,
and when we say railroaded, it's not like boring railroaded. There is a lot of fun story and fluff.
There's actually a lot
every
of
single character
within each chapter of the story, so each board layout, there's actually a lot of alternative sort of side quests that you can go on.
There's like special searches. You can be like, hey, you could just do this and bang this level out, or if you take a little extra time and you search here, you're going to get something cool.
Right. Are there alternative passages that you can go through? You might be in tunnels underneath a kitchen, and you can go up through the tunnels and into the kitchen to meet additional characters, make new allies, find secret weapons or equipment, or you could just not.
And the cool thing
is, keep going.
And the cool thing is that those, some of those secret weapons will actually change the way the game plays.
Right.
So there might be
new mechanics.
Yeah.
And stuff
there might be hey, oh no, you come up to a thing of water, but if you have this item that you could have searched for 3 games ago,
grappling hook and
it's like now you just get across with no problem, and it's like oh geez, I got to go back and play reevaluate my whole life.
Yeah. So it's got 6 playable characters.
6 playable characters right now.
Yeah.
That come in the base.
They come in the base box, and there are expansions to the game. I'm not sure if they're continuations of this or if they're just a new story. It definitely introduces new characters and has a slightly new setting, because I believe it's more outdoors.
Yes, it's more nature.
This takes place entirely in a castle. Basically, you're playing a bunch of mice. Or I take that back. You're playing a bunch of characters that were humans that were shrunken into mice.
Correct.
In an effort to thwart this new evil queen that's basically shown up and poisoned the king and is attempting to overthrow the kingdom and create
and a lot of the characters on this one are based off of medieval fantasy.
Right, it's very fantasy style.
Whereas the one that we looked at, the newer one, is very nature fantasy.
Right, so this has your typical, warrior,
knight,
cleric.
It's a knight, cleric,
like a blacksmith type.
Blacksmith, there's a mage,
archer,
a rogue. Yep. And then in the other one, we actually seen...
There's a shaman.
There's a shaman.
There's a hunter.
There's straight up a Native American mouse.
He's got a headress and everything.
Which I want to play so badly.
So we've made it through chapter 5 in this so far. Like I said, there's 11 chapters, so we're about halfway through. We're hoping to wrap up within the next month if we can get all the games in.
Yeah.
And then we might not pick up the expansion directly away, but we probably
will.
It will
get
at some point.
Picked up, yeah.
There's another game that Plaid Hat makes. There's several other games that Plaid Hat makes, but there's another game that we've wanted to pick up, which is a similar style of gameplay, whereas you've got a grid laid out and you're playing through chapters, missions in an RPG style system. But it's actually bound together like a storybook.
Oh yeah.
And so every time you turn the page, it's the new grid with the new story. And so you're literally turning through a storybook, playing out the story.
Playing the book.
Right. And you're playing as animated stuffed animals, which is pretty cool. Looking at the game when we saw it come out this past Gen Con, it actually felt a lot like, if you've ever seen that, there's like an art image online of like a teddy bear standing up on top of a sleeping kid with like a sword like pointing away at a demon and like holding the demon at bay. Like that's what teddy bears do.
Right, well, that's why they were sewn with their eyes open. So they can always
yeah. I just saw it the other day. Yeah,
try me, bitch.
That's why teddy bears are sewn with their eyes open. Yeah. They can always keep a lookout. But yeah, so Mice and Mystics, great game, highly recommend. As well as any other games by Plaid Hat. From what I've seen from their stuff online, they've got some great options for
the miniatures. The miniatures are nice too. We actually
we're working on painting them.
And it's actually we're painting them by their car, which is really fun.
Yeah, we're painting them to match the way they actually look in the story and in all of the art for the game. So yeah, Mice and Mystics.
Play it
now. The next thing we wanted to talk about is that we've made a few changes to our personal armies for different games.
Yeah.
You've picked up some new stuff for War Machine.
I have, and as you saw in our one of our last videos, is me priming my Grimkin, some of my Grimkin model.
Yeah.
I started off in War Machine Horde playing Khador, and I love Khador. But then Grimkin came out, and I immediately fell in love with them, and I was like, I'm gonna take a step back though, but because I was still working on Khador. I was still like, no, I have to get I want to get a good Khador list together. And now that I'm actually finally done building my Khador list, and I'm happy where it is, making little tweaks here and there, but nothing dramatic where I need to spend, hundreds of dollars on. And now I started working on my Grimkin list.
Yeah. And again, a brief apology. Sorry we didn't get last week's Themeless Thursday video up.
Somebody's house flooded.
Yeah, we had a bit of a leaky pipe situation that we ended up being able to take care of, but not after eating up the entire day, of which I would have spent a good 3 hours editing.
Yeah.
So that just didn't happen. And then I was on the road for work the next day, so it's not like I could do anything from my car.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just didn't work out. We put up that little video, which we weren't even planning on sharing with you guys.
No, it was just like a fun little video that we made
fun.
like one night of me priming, and it just came out nicely.
And I didn't want to not give you anything Thursday because we said we're going to upload twice a week, so that video went up, and a good number of you watched it, just about as many as would normally watch an episode.
So
we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
I tried to keep it as short as possible. It's like a minute long. I hope the music was okay. But yeah. So and then I also primed all of my my Guild Ball models.
Yes.
So they're ready to start painting, which I'm very excited for. I'm playing Morticians, and I don't think I'm ever going to win a game, but I'm going to have a lot of fun losing, because they just do such weird, wacky things, and I'm definitely going to go.
Having fun playing it.
That's the point of the game. Exactly.
If you win a game.
I'm definitely going to go with like a dark gothic vibe, because that's what they look like.
Yeah.
So because they're primed black, I feel like I'm going to be able to get through them.
Wait a minute, you're not going to go with pink Mortician?
No, I'm not. Though I might throw pink highlights on that. But yeah, so I feel like there's just going to be a lot of like dark gray, light gray, dry brushing and shading over the black base.
Yeah.
So it should go pretty quickly.
Yeah, for the Grimkin models, I was trying to figure out like what I should do for their paint scheme, and I think I'm just going to just kind of go with like their studio gory.
Oh yeah,
like I almost want to go straight Nightmare Before Christmas style on them.
You could go either that, where everything's kind of muted in black and white.
Yeah.
Or you could go the absolute opposite direction.
Just bright.
Like Tim Burton oversaturated Alice in Wonderland, just all bright neons and pastels.
I actually kind of like that idea a lot. That would be kind of.
It'd be weird.
Blinding to look at.
It would. So I feel like you'd have to use a lot of very. You'd have to use a lot of very saturated paints, and painting with saturated paints I think is tricky, because you either have to do like 5 or 6 coats if you water it down properly, or if you don't, it gets thick and you start to see clump spots and paint lines.
Right.
And you don't want that.
And this is one of the. This is like me going to be taking my time with these models, because there's so much detail with them. Whereas like my Man of War are all wearing plate. So it's kind of, I can get away with, if something cracks, and I can cut away at it and make it look like damage.
Yep.
Whereas like, for instance, like Skin and Bone with all of this muscle tendons.
Yeah, all the flesh tears and everything.
I really want to actually take my time with that and actually like put forth a lot of effort that I usually don't put in.
Yeah. Yeah, spend a little more time, see if you like what you get.
Yeah.
So yeah, some new stuff there. As far as, what was I going to say? The primer that you're using. You switched to a different primer.
I did.
You switched to a bone.
It was bone white from Army Painter.
Okay. And that already looks. It's this very like. It almost looks like a sickly gray flesh color.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about that is because, like I was saying to you earlier, I don't know what I'm going to paint them, but I know for a fact I don't want to paint prime black or white, Because with black, it's super hard to cover. With
It can
white,
be.
it's super hard to cover.
Yeah, they're very. I mean, they're the edges of the spectrum.
And
right?
it's like,
solid black.
what do I
solid
want to
white.
do? And I was like, I thought of like a nice like cream color or a bone color, and then we saw that at our local game store, and I picked that up. And
Yeah.
I've always been happy with Army Painter's paints and Army Painter's primers. So
Yeah, so
Army Painter,
they look
go
good.
and try them.
they look good so far. Yeah, you can't quite see them, but we have quite a few cans up here.
Maybe like 5 cans above my head.
Actually, a note on priming, and maybe you guys could comment below with your opinions. But the other day it was way too cold and way too windy outside to prime, and even though we have a nice little priming station set up, it just wasn't going to happen. And I wanted to get those Guild Ball models prepped. So I actually have a pretty decently sized basement. It doesn't have any ventilation, but it has a workshop and some space to get stuff done. So I went down there and I set up a fan to sort of circulate the air around, and I primed my models down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, it was absolutely wonderful being able to prime away from the wind, not having to worry about like drift.
And the warmth.
And the warmth. Your knuckles not, going stiff from working the trigger on the spray bottle. But I was a little worried about like being in such a closed space and having the fumes circulate around.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being overly cautious. Maybe that's not a problem at all. I'm 6'2" and 230 pounds, so maybe a little bit of fumage from a spray can isn't going to do anything. But at the same time, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't want to wipe out too many brain cells.
Wear a respirator.
It's true. I could just pick up a respirator, though. I think like quality painting respirators are like $100 or something.
No, you can get them cheap.
Yeah, I just don't want to get one of the little paper ones.
No, you can get the one with the HEPA filters.
I should go to an army store and get like
a pro mask.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, get like an old World War II gas mask. I just wear that while I paint.
Got a pro mask right at the house, ready to go.
Of course you would. So yeah, what do you guys think about priming indoors in more closed spaces, even with maybe using a fan to circulate air around or something like that? Yeah. Do you do it? Are you against it? Am I going to die? If I'm going to die, let me know. I'd like to plan. I have a few things I need to get in order.
I mean, we all die.
We all die, that's true. I'm going to die shortly. I'd like to know. Try to get it within a few days of the video.
Rub some turkey. So today will be the day after we go to a couple days after a sale that happened at the Armory.
Yes, you guys are going to be watching this on Thursday. So
I just realized what day this will be coming out on.
So like 5 days prior.
You missed it.
Today, the Armory is actually having a great sale on War Machine and Hordes.
And by today, he means Saturday the 9th.
Saturday, the day we're filming this. So hopefully you made it. I hope you got some good stuff. I hope we got some good stuff.
I want to get some good stuff.
So we're talking backwards in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're time travelers.
No, we're not.
Call me Doc Brown and him Marty.
Doc, we got to get out of here.
So it's the Libyans.
Oh God.
So, anyways, they're having a 70% off sale on War Machine and Hordes. They're calling it their War Machine and Hordes flea market sale. And something that we wanted to touch on was the fact that this has sort of been happening a lot to a lot of different local stores, and it seems to be that they're having trouble keeping inventory on the shelves.
Yeah,
and it's because Privateer Press has changed their ordering process or their vendor.
I don't know if it's their vendoring or their ordering process, but it is making it harder for a lot of the stores to restock War Machine Hordes.
Even the bigger online vendors, like
now,
the War Store, Miniature Market.
They're having a harder time restocking older stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of stores I've noticed are getting Mompox stuff constantly.
That's true. Well, I don't think they're implying these new rules to Mompox. I think it might just be Privateer, not Privateer, War Machine and Hordes specifically.
And I almost wonder, is it because Mompox so new that's why they want to get it out?
They don't want to restrict sales. They want it to be. They want to not flood the market with it. They want it to be as out there and as available as possible.
And I do understand where Privateer Press was coming from, was the fact that they do sometimes have shipping issues, and it happens. Business is business. That's it. That's the way the world
works. You can't control everything.
And they don't want the consumer to be blaming the game store for, specifically for not being able to...
The mom and pop brick and mortar shops.
Right, for not being able to get, load up on Privateer Press stuff. Yeah. Whereas then if they can't get it through Privateer Press because Privateer Press has some shipping issues, now they can blame Privateer Press.
So they're trying to move the heat onto themselves, which is
honorable, and I can get it.
It's a noble thing to do.
It just sucks when you finally find a game store that has everything that you're looking for, except for the models that you're looking for.
Right.
And now I do get like some of them, they are going directly through Black Anchor.
That's true.
That's fine.
I think the structures and some of the
structure and the huge base
models,
which is fine because that is, those models are amazing looking.
Right.
But like if I have to search high and low for an old
a juggernaut or something like that. Yeah.
Like it's gonna be yes.
And it's not that you can't get stuff. Like obviously we can still go to our local game store and we can say, hey, I need this model, can you order it? And they'll say, yeah, no problem, I'll put it in with the next order. But we did that last time we did that. We ordered a Harbinger. I think we had mentioned on here we ordered a Harbinger the weekend of Captain Con from a local gaming store, the Wiz, that was at Captain Con. And they put the order in as soon as they got back to their shop that Monday, or Monday or Tuesday, whenever they put their order. It just came in this past weekend, so it's 4 weeks for the Harbinger to show up. I mean, that's a Warcaster. That's not, and it's currently one of the most popular Warcasters of that faction. It's not an unplayed model. It's not like we're looking for them to go out and dust off this solo that nobody plays anymore that they stopped printing a year ago.
All your Warwick stuff.
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah.
Although we're not getting the new Steelhead Gunners.
Yes, I'm looking forward to see what it looks
But anyways, waiting like 3 weeks for a model to show up, especially if you're trying to sort of like get on top of the wave of what models are being pushed as functional within a theme. Like if you follow tournament results and tournament lists, you would know that the Harbinger is one of the or the top played Warcaster inside Protectorate right now. So you see that and you're like, all right, got to get me a Harbinger. I'm going to test out some of these lists that I saw do really well in the tournament. Maybe advance my play style.
Like if you're a new player coming to the game,
yeah, that's a great way to look at.
And you're hanging around with people who do follow that, and they're like, hey, well. You like Protectorate? Well, the Harbinger was the most played character.
You can look at the first place lists, so the top lists from a tournament, and see what played well. And if it was streamed or recorded, you might even be able to go watch the games and see how it was played. And so that's a great starting point for sort of studying the game and picking up on higher level of play. And if you can't get those models inside of a month, I mean, for 3 weeks, you're pushing out towards a month.
Yeah,
that's a really crappy amount of time to have to wait. Is all. Plus, a lot of game stores, just because they don't have money to throw around, require you to pay up front. So if you're picking up a couple of models, say you're picking up a Warcaster and 2 or 3 Jacks, you're dumping out $100, $120 just to wait for a month. I mean, I can order stuff off of Amazon and it's going to show up in 2 to 5 days. Yeah. Why am I going to go to my local store? I want to go to my local store. I want to give them my money, but 3-4 weeks to 2 days, and I have to pay up front either way. That's a crappy situation that I don't want to have to face every time I need a model.
It is kind of one of the suckier parts where you just want to give your money to the game store, but it's also like, I also don't want to wait that long.
Exactly. So hopefully that gets taken care of. Hopefully it gets figured out and it's not entirely, you have to go through privateer press or you have to wait X amount of time.
In which case,
just how it is.
I have no problem going directly through privateer press. I just want to be able to go on to, and this happened to me when I was first dealing with the Armor Core list. I really wanted to run the Siege Cherry. And every time I would go on to Privateer Press store, the Siege Cherry was sold out. And it's like every single time.
For like it was sold out everywhere else too.
For like 2 months, I could not find it. And it got to the point where I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to run it.
Yeah, I guess I just can't play this model.
Right. And it's like, I have no problem going giving all my money directly to Privateer Press and like saying the hell with it. I'll pay full price. But when I want to pay it and I can't find it for like 2 months, that's the sucky part. Like, it's like you guys are killing it. Like, I want to give you my money.
Right. Just shut up and take my money.
Just shut up and take my money. Just make the model available.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, that's all we wanted to complain about for this week. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Themeless Thursday, How to Roll Dice. I'm Josh.
Bryant.
And we hope that you guys check us out next week for Tabletop Tuesday, this coming Tuesday.
And as always, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like and share.
We try to post on our Instagram every day. We try to stay up to date on events, everything that we attend. We take plenty of pictures.
Yes.
If you can follow us, if you can subscribe to our YouTube page and like our videos, it just helps us with the algorithms. And if we get up to 100 subscribers, we can actually have our own official URL name. Oh. Instead of it just being youtube.com/, it'll actually be How to Roll Dice.
That'll be fun.
But we need to get to 100 subscribers.
Help us.
Right now, we're right around 80. So
yeah, and
share us with your friends. Get us up there.
By the time this video comes out, we should have some awesome photos from the armory set.
Yeah, we're gonna take some stuff today when we head out. So
all right, guys,
have a good one.
See ya.